So, Wes, we are in the
Hey.
thick of it. We are in the heart of Halloween, sir.
The season of the witch, not the movie, just the season.
And this time we are talking about the 2007 American horror anthology comedy film Trick or
It's a pirate movie.
Trick or Treat.
Yes, sir. It's
That's
a good one.
right. It is.
Yeah, 2007. That's when it was like kind of half released. Not really. Did not really come out till 2009, but yeah, I remember when it got released on DVD, and I went to Blockbuster to rent it. That's how old I am.
Do you want to start with your history of this movie?
Yeah,
Mine?
certainly. I'll tell you exactly. My ex at the time, I was living up and around the Detroit area, and my ex had me convinced that I liked the show True Blood on HBO. I did not like that show, and I continue to not like that show. It's been over for a long time, but do you know what I'm talking about, the show?
I do. You had yourself convinced? Or no, she had you convinced?
She had me convinced that she liked vampire stuff. And first off, people loved that show.
Oh, sure.
And Sookie Stackhouse became a big thing, and that's what prompted, in my opinion, this movie to be released when it did, because that show was popular at the time. So they de-shelved it around Halloween in 2009 when that show was big, to basically jump on the bandwagon of Sookie Stackhouse being popular. She was definitely not the star of this movie, but she was advertised as being like Trick or Treat, starring Sookie Stackhouse, aka whatever her name is.
Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin. She's a really nice actress. So yeah, I remember it was October, so I'm really into whatever Halloween is up for grabs at the time. We went to Blockbuster to rent this the day it came out on DVD, and it had no real theatrical release before that, no real release at all. The only thing people knew about it was that it played at the circuits of like South by Southwest and stuff.
Yes.
And everyone liked it, but they just decided not to release it. And apparently it was because the screenwriter did a bad job on Superman Returns.
Yes, the producer.
So the producer, they shelved this because they were like, that was a flop and awful, blah, blah, blah. 2 years later, Sookie Stackhouse is big. Oh, she's in this movie. Let's advertise her in this movie. So that's what I think what happened with this movie. I don't think that if you read like the true facts about this on Wikipedia, it mentions anything about Anna Paquin being involved, but that's my theory.
Oh, because of Superman Returns, that's the reason they shelved this movie?
They shelved this movie because of Superman was a big flop.
It was a huge flop, and it was really, really bad.
Yeah, really bad, really big flop. So they were like, oh yeah, that Halloween movie you made, that's not coming out for a little while because we don't know what to do with it because you suck. So True Blood is a big show. Everyone loves Anna Paquin. So hey, let's release this movie on Halloween 2 years later because people like Sookie Stackhouse. So that's my theory on the movie. But I remember going to rent it the day that it came out at Blockbuster. That was in 2009. So that was like the year before I left for the Navy. That's my history, man. What's yours?
I myself have never watched an episode of True Blood, sorry to say.
Okay. Consider yourself pretty much lucky.
Okay, I figured. My history with this movie is pretty brief. I know Anna Paquin from the X-Men movies. She's Rogue. So that's where I know her from.
Bryan Singer?
That's the other tie-in.
Is that the connection?
There's two. Bryan Singer was the producer of this movie. He directed X-Men. And then Brian Cox, the guy who plays the old curmudgeon neighbor, the one that has the run-in with Sam, he is the main villain in X-Men 2. So yeah, that's how all these actors, and this is how this whole thing's connected through X-Men.
There's connections here.
Yeah.
That's cool. And he was the first Hannibal Lecter.
In Manhunter, you're correct.
In Manhunter.
My history with Trick or Treat is pretty short and sweet. On the DVD for the movie 300, there's an advertisement that plays for this movie. That was the first time I heard anything about it. And that was that was earlier than 2007, 2009. Yeah. So I saw an advertisement for this movie and it looked amazing. And I said, oh my God, I can't wait to see this thing. Well, whole bunch of time went by and I completely forgot about it. It was, yeah. And then I was at a video store, I think much like yourself, and I saw it. That's that movie that holy shit, there it is. So yeah, so I rented it that day and took it home, and the rest is history, as they say.
Absolutely. Yeah. That sounds just about right. Speaking of Halloween type stuff, do you have like any good Halloween memories from when you were younger? Like, did you like love trick or treating, or did you like, what did the holiday mean to you or your friends like in elementary elementary and middle school. Like, you got anything for me on that?
Yeah, no, I used to. Oh, dude, trick-or-treating was the night that I lived for. It was fantastic.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, it was fantastic, man. You waited all year for that. And then once it got to be around September, you started getting excited for it because you knew it was not that far off.
Totally.
Oh, dude, yeah. My two favorite holidays, the main two that most people think of, but Halloween and Christmas. Those are the two times of the year that are my favorite. Back then and now.
Don't sleep on Thanksgiving.
And Thanksgiving never meant a whole lot to me. I don't care.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean a lot to everybody, but
yeah,
some people it does. I still love that one, but I think as far as your top two, I ain't gonna disagree.
Yeah, I used to think about for a long time my Halloween costume.
Sure, dude.
Sometimes I made them. Sometimes they were just store bought. I remember my favorite one as a kid was this cheap plastic Spider-Man like slip-on cover costume with the mask that had the little slits so you could breathe through it. Yeah, that was
was it COVID friendly?
Yeah, that was probably my favorite as a kid. And then, like I said, I would make some too, just because I would get an idea in my head and I would just find old props and costumes and then just sort of mix them somehow to make what I thought was a pretty cool costume. That was more when I got a little bit older, but yeah. So
yeah, absolutely, man. I can sympathize totally with that.
The only thing that sucked was when your mom told you had to wear your jacket because it was cold, because that would ruin your entire fucking costume.
It would happen, yes.
Unless you were Indiana Jones, then it made fine sense. But other than that, yeah, it sucked.
In 6th grade, I went as Michael Myers, and I had a perfect like overalls, not overalls, but like a gas station attendant thing that I had borrowed from somebody, and a really nice Michael Myers mask, not the one that you'd find like at Kmart. We had got it. My buddy and I got them at the Costume Holiday House. They were made for us, and they were really expensive. I begged my parents for them. So they got them for me and my buddy, and we wore them. And the first time that we wore them, it was like 45 degrees out for trick or treat, and I had to wear a Bulls starter jacket on top of Michael Myers mask. So not great. So yeah, I was a big Michael Jordan fan as Michael Myers. I was like, Mom, this ain't gonna look right, and she's like, oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no, that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, but the mask was on point. I wish I still had that thing. It was like a really thick, nice mask with like the hair was perfect on it. And there was a lot of time and effort and money put into it. And I don't know what happened. Yeah,
one year when I first got into Mortal Kombat, and that game was massive at the time. Like, it had just exploded.
Huge.
I wanted to go as Scorpion because he's always been my favorite, but
he's a good one.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not like today where costume manufacturers design and make costumes from anything you fucking want. Back then, our choices were limited. If it wasn't like a major superhero or something, they weren't making costumes out of Mortal Kombat games, not to my recollection.
Yes.
So I had to get creative. I really wanted to go as Scorpion, but all my mom had was blue fabric, like this blue blanket or something, an old one. And she's like, here, take this. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll just go as Sub-Zero. I'll compromise.
Sub-Zero is fine too.
Yeah, Sub-Zero is fine. So yeah, I sat there and I crafted. This thing took me forever. But yeah, I crafted a homemade Sub-Zero costume, and yeah, I won the school costume contest that year. So
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, everybody loved it. They're like, oh, "Where'd you get that?" And then I told them that my mom and I made it together. So yeah, it was cool. That's probably my best Halloween memories, when my mom helped me make that Sub-Zero costume. That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, and you're almost pandering though by doing a costume that you knew would be so popular.
I give the people what they want, Wes.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. As very apparent in the episodes that we've released so far. That's a good intro to this, because this movie really encapsulates the feel of like Halloween, because from the get-go to the very end, it's all just fucking chock with Halloween. It's not just sprinkled in, it's the main ingredient. We're not reviewing it yet. You'll still have to keep listening to hear our review, but I would say this is the perfect kind of movie that would be like on the background on a projector at like a big Halloween party. Just have it on. Yeah. You don't have to pay attention to it, just have it on. And a lot of even like the Halloween movies would not be good for that. So like Halloween Michael Myers movies, this is just the perfect movie to have on during the holiday.
Yep.
So let's open. Oh, by the way, the director's from Columbus, Ohio.
Michael Dougherty?
Yes, sir.
All right, Wes. Trick or treat. You like what I did there?
I like your Vlad voice.
That's right.
One, ha, ha, ha. Two, ha, ha, ha. I don't know who you're doing.
I forgot about that. Yeah, good times. Trick or Treat is a 2007 American anthology horror comedy film written and directed by Michael Dougherty and produced by one Bryan Singer. The film stars Dylan Baker, Rochelle Aytes, Anna Paquin, and Brian Cox. It relates 4 Halloween horror stories with a common element in them, and that is Sam, a mysterious child trick-or-treater wearing shabby orange footie pajamas with a burlap sack over his head. The character makes an appearance in each of the stories whenever one of the other characters breaks a Halloween tradition.
Ancient Halloween situation.
A situation.
Yeah, just an ancient Halloween situation.
Despite being delayed for 2 years and having only a limited number of screenings at film festivals, the film received much critical acclaim and has since garnered a strong cult following.
People love Sam.
They do.
And this movie also takes place in Ohio at a made-up place, but it looks like fucking New Orleans of Ohio.
Oh, you're right. It does.
Wester or something.
Something, yeah, Ashley or Ambly or Alley, Ohio.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid. The director's from Columbus, so he made up some kind of hybrid name of Ohio's towns, and then people do love Halloween in Ohio. It's like the biggest thing ever because of the cornfields and the football season and all great stuff going on. And I think that he wanted to do something like what they do in Athens at OU. They do a huge sort of like Mardi Gras type deal during Halloween at Ohio University in Athens, Ohio.
I mean, it kind of makes sense to set this film somewhere in that area, Ohio,
That's why,
the Midwest.
Illinois,
when
Ohio,
when you think of like the perfect Halloween season, you think
that's where it is.
Yeah, you think of somewhere in the Midwest with the suburbs and the orange leaves on the ground and the chill in the air. You don't really think of places like, I don't know, Florida or California. Or
you would not think of California. You wouldn't think of Pasadena where Halloween was filmed because they had to make it look like it was in Illinois when they made that movie.
Our movie begins. Emma and her Halloween-loving husband Henry return home after a celebratory night.
Yeah, they weren't there to like hand out candy or anything, but they like had the whole yard all done up like crazy.
Dude, insanely decorated.
Just everywhere. Like they must have put a lot of time into doing that, and then they just went out and got drunk, and then came back and funny.
Well, I'm assuming that's her Halloween-loving husband Henry's doing, because their costumes were pretty elaborate, and the decorations in the front yard were aplenty.
They were aplenty, yeah. And then she wants to blow out one of the jack-o'-lanterns, and the husband knew all about the lore of, hey, don't blow that out until midnight.
Why?
Ancient tradition?
It's like an ancient Halloween rule or something. Basically, she says to him, I'm going to clean all this up now because my mom's coming tomorrow morning and you're going to sleep in and then play video games all day. And I know that's what you're going to do. So I'll take care of it. And he's like, all right. He starts looking at her ass and stuff. And then she knows what he's doing. Put the videotape on. So they must have a special videotape that they watch when they make Whoopi.
They do.
So he goes up and puts the special tape on.
Yeah, they put a porno on when they want to get in the mood.
Yeah. So good for them.
While Henry is taking a rest in the house, Emma begins tearing down the front lawn decorations when she is suddenly ambushed and murdered by an unseen assailant.
We don't know who it is yet. No, you are correct. Yeah.
Nope, we don't know.
It's a pretty cool scene.
It is. Henry later discovers her mutilated corpse on display with the decorations, a large lollipop just jammed right in her mouth.
Right in there, dude.
This first segment in our anthology series is called Principal. 4 friends are out buying costumes and looking for hot dates for the big party they're going to.
Yeah, all the girls are at the local shop, the costume shop or whatever, and they're being peeped on by a small boy who might be a little bit too young to like even know like what sexual stuff is yet. But then his mom knocks on the door while all the girls are talking about their costumes and their boobs and stuff, and he's looking at him and she goes, "There's children out here," and they'll just laugh or whatever. And we don't really know what their MO is yet, but they're gonna go meet the guys and they're gonna get their costumes and whatever. And they were getting their very late Halloween costumes together. One of which was a Little Red Riding Hood, who was, hey Sean, Sookie Stackhouse.
Yes, they were buying their costumes on Halloween night.
So Sookie Stackhouse seems to be like the meek one of the group of the 4 girls. But yeah, they're all going to go find their dates and then go out to this weird part of the, out in some kind of woods or whatever. So
meanwhile, Charlie, an overweight vandal who smashes jack-o'-lanterns, is caught stealing candy from an unattended bowl left by his school principal, Stephen Wilkins.
Yeah, Dylan Baker. He's great.
Yeah.
The actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. And by the way, let's call the kid Bad Santa.
Is that where he's from?
He's the kid from Bad Santa. Yes.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, he's the fat kid he's the husky child from Bad Santa. Yeah, you are correct. And we're already starting to think like something's wrong with this Dylan Baker character, this principal. And this whole first sequence is kind of weird and it's funny. And he tells him about respecting the dead and all this stuff. And then he feeds him some candy. And then he goes, "Oh yeah, there was one more. You forgot to check the candy before you ate it." And all of a sudden he starts profusely vomiting blood, and it's disgusting.
Dude, that sound effect is my least favorite thing ever.
It's bad.
Oh,
it's good bad. Yeah,
it's
bad.
good bad. Yeah, I can't listen to it. It's rough. So it's revealed that the piece of candy that Wilkins gave him was laced with poison.
Absolutely.
While attempting to cover up Charlie's death, he ends up handing out more lace candy to trick-or-treaters, including Little Sam. So Wilkins drags Charlie to the backyard where he begins working burying the bodies, but he's continually interrupted by his young son Billy.
Hey Dad, I want to do a jack-o'-lantern. I want to cut out the eyes.
Yeah.
All right, son.
All right, he's like, all right, just keep it down. Keep it down. He's like, okay, I'll keep it down, Dad.
Meanwhile, he's still jacking up this body and throwing it into whatever. And then, Hannibal Lecter comes out and says, "What are you doing over there?"
What in God's name are you doing down there, Wilkins? Hiding bodies?
He is interrupted as well by his elderly neighbor, Mr. Krieg, an angry recluse who lives next door.
Which we find out later why.
Yeah.
Why he's a recluse.
Yes. When Wilkins returns indoors, something can be seen attacking Krieg through the window.
He poo-poos it.
Yes. Wilkins' son jumps out and scares him. And also...
Hey, Dad, let's do a jack-o'-lantern now.
By the way, who's still making jack-o'-lanterns on Halloween night when it's like, I'm guessing it's like 9 or 10 at night? I don't know.
Maybe they were busy. That was the only free night they had.
Oh, and then, at one point he asks,
"Can we go to the parade?"
And he goes, "By the way, the parade has been long over." The parade maybe in this town is still going on. But we know, growing up in normal towns, that the parade is during the day.
The parade is during the day, not night,
yeah.
No.
Unless you go to Athens, Ohio, where the parade goes on for the whole night. This is not yet. So maybe they were taking a take on that. But yeah, it was just all weird. And then, so now they're inside in the sun. At the whole time, we're thinking that Dylan Baker is going to end up killing his son, which we all kind of were hoping for at this point, I thought, because he was such an annoying kid. So now he's going to teach his son to use, I don't know, they were going to do the jack-o'-lanterns, but then we see what's really going on. Do tell, sir.
Wilkins appears to stab Billy, but then is shown to be okay, and it's revealed that the knife was plunged into Charlie's severed head, the jack-o'-lantern that they are about to carve.
Yeah, that's the Bad Santa's head.
Bad Santa's head, yeah. Now, I will say this. When I first watched this movie, I can remember when that part happened, when it turned out to be Charlie's head, I was a little surprised. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a bit of a reveal.
It was, yeah. It was a pretty good one. Didn't expect it.
Sure.
Our next segment is Halloween School Bus Massacre.
This might be my favorite.
Ditto. I would agree with that. A group of trick-or-treaters, Marcy, Sarah, Chip, and Schrader, meet Rhonda, a Halloween fanatic said to be a savant.
She's an idiot savant.
An idiot savant.
Yeah, they're like, she's she's the R word. No, she's not. She's just an idiot savant.
I gotcha. The group travels to a local flooded quarry where Marcy recalls the urban legend of the Halloween school bus massacre, which claimed the lives of 8 mentally challenged children in a school bus on Halloween. And I will say, I thought the most chilling part of this movie is when that school bus driver is chaining up those kids and handing out the dude. That was a lot to take in. It was good.
And I don't know that they're really mentally challenged as much as they are like disturbed behaviorally. They were. You wouldn't chain up. Wow. Yeah. All of the above, I think, are on board. They were the parents' nightmare, and so what it came out to be was that these disturbed children who made their own costumes, obviously, by looking at the costumes. They're terrifying looking. The parents were so disgruntled with these kids that they were going to, put their money together and have this driver take them to the quarry that's like 1 billion meters deep or whatever, and drive them off and get rid of them forever.
Mentally disturbed for sure, and possibly a little bit whatever. I think the one kid that actually, spoiler alert, not really, we're talking about the scene, jumps out and he keeps saying wrong way home, just like in Rain Man, 10 minutes to Wapner, basically like that kind of kid. I'm not making fun of anybody. So yeah, he gets loose and puts on the accelerator and whatever, puts the thing into drive, and all the kids are kind of making noise and whatever, and this guy's like, no, and the thing goes over the goddamn cliff, Sean, right into the fucking quarry. They perished, and the driver was never heard from again. Well, and the legend lives on, and the girl, the mean girl, that's what I call her, the girl that was in charge of this, she could have been in the movie Mean Girls. The way she told it was that they think that the driver did survive. Yeah, so at this point, though, they were trying to scare the idiot savant, right? Yes, and Mary announces they will leave 8 jack-o'-lanterns by the lake as tribute to the dead children.
The 8 children that were perished, yes.
The group then poses as the undead kids to prank a terrified Rhonda. Rhonda stays at the elevator while the group cleans up their props. Marcy ends up kicking one of the lanterns into the quarry, causing the real-life zombie children to appear.
Yeah, that's what we're meant to believe, yes.
The group flees to the elevator, begging Rhonda to let them in. However, Rhonda takes the elevator up without them and quietly walks home as she overhears the screaming group being torn apart and eaten.
I was upset to see some of those kids go because the mean girl, Regina King or whatever her name is in the movie, the movie Mean Girls, the main mean girl, that was her show that she was running. And to hear them all being pulled apart was no good. But that girl, she was fucking mean as hell, dude.
I felt really, really bad for the other children. I was like, they really don't deserve that. That's not their fault. I mean, they went along with it. They were in on it, so they're sort of guilty as well.
It was the mean girl thing that she wanted to do all this, and they just were kind of along for the ride. That's what happens when you're an accomplice, Sean. I guess sometimes you get your limbs ripped off.
Don't hang out with the bad crowd.
No, don't hang out with the mean girl.
That's right.
Although, if I was that age, I would have been like, oh yeah, whatever you want, Regina King. Regina King is the name of the girl that's in Mean Girls. That's like the leader. What's this girl's name again?
The Mean Girl?
Yeah.
Macy.
Okay, Macy. I would have been like, oh, okay, sure, Macy, whatever you want. Sure, yeah. Well, let's go ahead and make fun of that idiot savant. Yeah, sure.
Rhonda briefly encounters Sam while leaving, and the two exchange a respectful glance.
Yeah, like Sam knew that she was, well, first off, she's Wiccan. She's a Samhain celebrator, which predates Christianity, as they say. So she kind of gets it, what's going on. And I don't know that she knows what Sam is, but Sam like knows what went on with her. So she's like, yeah, more power to you, dude. You got all those nasty people all torn apart and shit by those mongoloids that were chained to their seats in a fucking short bus piece of shit. Is that overboard?
That works. Next up, Wes. In our little tour of trick-or-treat Halloween land, we are at Surprise Party. Lori, a self-conscious young woman, arrives in town with her sister Danielle and friends Maria and Janet.
Sookie Stackhouse.
That's right. Yes, they pick up their dates that they had been looking for, save Lori, who wants her first time to be special and declines their invitations for a get-together to enjoy the town festival instead. Lori encounters a hooded serial killer dressed like a vampire who attacks her.
Yeah, we didn't know at the time that this is all going on, that this wasn't like an actual, like, at this point, who knows what is real and what's not. I didn't know at first if this was like a real vampire or not, like in this movie, but obviously not so much.
No, I thought so too.
But yeah, this guy is like a Phantom of the Opera type that has like vampire fangs or whatever that aren't really real, but he was a murderer, right?
He was, and he did could bite the neck of a woman.
Yeah, she like found blood all over her tutu and stuff, whatever she was, like a ballerina. Yeah.
So we think that this serial killer, this vampire, has gotten the better of Laurie. But we discover that at a bonfire, Laurie's friends witness this man, now severely injured, falling out of a tree, and they unmask him, revealing him to be Wilkins from the first segment.
Yeah, that dude. That fucking
guy.
Weirdo, yeah.
Laurie appears, having decided to join them for the occasion, and the girls transform themselves into werewolves.
And then we hear a really spooky song. And I can't believe they kept it in because I think this song actually got taken out of a lot of stuff because of licensing. In my copy, it's Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson that starts playing, and the girls start to transform into what their actual real form is. There's been 3 or 4, I know like Dawson's Creek had that song in a Halloween episode that got taken out. Like on Netflix, if you watch it, it's like some generic song. If you go and watch this movie on whatever platform it's on, I'm not sure what this is on actually, Sean. We'll have to look it up.
Hulu.
Is it on Hulu?
It's on Hulu.
If you watch, I watched my old copy. That's like a digital copy from probably like when this movie was new. It's still Sweet Dreams. On the DVD that first came out, it was Sweet Dreams. I don't know if on Hulu it's still Sweet Dreams because a lot of his stuff got taken down just by licensing stuff. Do you know for a fact if that's still there or not? Because it's a great song for what they did.
Then I must have watched the same version you did. So
okay, so you watched the same. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's a lot of music that gets taken in and out of different versions of movies that go on like different platforms, you know. So
which is fucking stupid, but
it's really stupid. But originally it was Sweet Dreams. It's a great song for this part, and they all start to transform, and the song kind of comes to a crescendo, and they're all naked and ripping off their skin and showing that they're actually werewolves and stuff, and it's kind of a cool thing. I don't like werewolves, dude, but it's a cool scene because I like these girls. They're kind of cool, and I like that song. It's kind of a cool song. So, hey, I like the scene, dude. Pretty cool.
You don't like werewolves, or you don't like werewolf movies?
I don't like I don't get into vampires or werewolves, man.
Okay, so the classic monsters don't do it for you.
No, and I'm not really a big fan of zombies either. Do you like vampires and werewolves?
I'll watch a Dracula or a Wolfman or something just purely because they're fun to watch. Not because I'm looking for any good horror or anything.
You got it, yeah. No. All the movies that include vampires and werewolves and stuff are usually not great. Like the movies that we like are like the ones that we're talking about now, and the ones that we're gonna like Michael Myers and Jason and shit. Like that's the stuff that I like. And I think that you're with me, right?
Yeah. My favorite vampire movie is 30 Days of Night.
Oh,
that's a very good atmospheric suspense building horror. It's a really well done movie for a vampire movie.
We need to do what's the one Fright Night. Mm-hmm. I like that one.
I like that one too. Yeah,
the 80s. Yeah. So maybe to the listener at home, we'll be doing these at some point. But for now, we're focused on Halloween, baby. Did you like this part with the song and the?
I did. I thought this part was really well done, and it wasn't so. I was not expecting them to be werewolves. That was like the last thing I thought of. So good on them for surprising me with that one too. Yeah.
I'm with you. When I first watched this, it was a little bit of a surprise as well. And I just like that song. That song to me is a spooky song.
Yeah, no, it added perfectly to the situation of the scene. Yeah, it was good.
It's just a good situation.
It was a good situation. You're right. Sam witnesses this whole thing go down. They cut to a shot of him just watching all of these people get eaten by werewolves.
Been a big fan of what was going on, right?
Oh, definitely. Speaking of, our next segment is all about Sam.
Yeah,
Krieg.
He's the star, man. We didn't know that really going into it, but this is the star.
Krieg, Wilkins' Halloween-hating neighbor from the first segment, scares away trick-or-treaters at his door to steal their candy. As the night proceeds, Krieg begins to encounter escalating phenomena. Someone eggs his window, his lawn is inexplicably filled with jack-o'-lanterns, and his hallways and ceiling are painted with bloody Halloween greetings. Things are getting weird in the Krieg household.
Yeah, Brian Cox is like, what the fuck's going on?
The wonderful Brian Cox.
Yeah, he's from The Ring, Manhunter, and then what else is he from?
Super Troopers.
Okay, yes. I was thinking of horror movies that he's been in. I know that. Yeah, he was in Super Troopers.
One of my favorite comedies of all time.
Glittering and. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. I like him. The Ring was a dark part that he was in.
Oh yeah,
And then,
very dark. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do The Ring at some point too.
He was very big in the early 2000s, right after X-Men 2 came out. Bryan Singer was in very high demand to be in anyone's movie.
You mean Brian Cox?
So after X-Men 2 came out, Brian
Yeah,
Cox
dude.
was in very high demand to be in your movie.
He was, yeah, and he did a great job in The Ring, and he was just a good, yeah. He was in all those movies, the Bryan Singer movies. You're saying that he was in most of those or whatever. Great actor, dude. A British guy, right?
Yep.
Cool. I like him, and he did a good job in this too. I'm not gonna lie. Let's preface this end vignette. Not my favorite of the whole movie, but it's like a big long. Like what you said, everything's escalating. The candy's been stolen, blah blah blah. He's a big anti-Halloween person. At this point, do we know why yet?
No, not yet. Nope.
Okay. Please put us back on the rails, sir.
All right. Krieg is suddenly ambushed by Sam, and a lengthy brawl ensues. And I mean lengthy, which it's pretty
yeah.
good back and forth between the two.
I would say this is more entertaining than Mrs. Voorhees versus Alice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it escalates, you're right.
It's also like half the time of that too. So
Sure. Yeah. So we've been introduced to this character already. We know that he's kind of a dick. We know that he's been attacked, but now we're going to get to the real story of what really happened there.
during the brawl, Sam loses his mask and is revealed to be a demonic-looking pumpkin-headed child.
Oh, man. Yeah, pretty cool.
Sam's supernatural abilities cause him to continually have the upper hand, and he eventually moves in to deliver the killing blow. However, Sam winds up stabbing a chocolate bar that has landed in Krieg's lap by mistake, which he takes and eats, thus making Krieg complete the tradition of handing out candy on Halloween. So that
Absolutely.
saved his life for now.
Oh, for the moment being, yeah, sure.
Satisfied, Sam spares a confused Krieg and gives him one last glance of warning before leaving. Photographs in the fireplace reveal Krieg to be the bus driver that killed the 8 children.
No way!
I know.
Yeah.
All right, now we are at the conclusion of the film, and this is when everything starts to tie together, all the story. Krieg begins giving out candy to children before gazing at the neighborhood. He witnesses Rhonda casually pulling her pumpkin cart along.
Yeah, the idiot savant.
The idiot savant. He sees Billy handing out treats to other kids while wearing a costume resembling his father's outfit. He observes Lori, her sister, and her friends driving along the road while having a good time. He catches sight of Sam watching Emma and Henry returning home, with him going to exact punishment when Emma blows out the jack-o'-lantern. He returns inside only to receive a knock on the door. Krieg opens it, revealing the resurrected children waiting for him.
Trick or treat.
Final shots of the film show Krieg being dismembered, the children having gotten their vengeance.
Finally.
And that, Wes, is how the movie ends.
Yeah, that's the film, man. Well, it ends with like a big, like cool, like comic book looking thing. Just like the way it opens. It's really cool.
All right, Wes, what are your thoughts and final grading on Trick or Treat?
Yeah, I like the way you put it. It's like we said at the beginning, man. This is the kind of movie that you want to have on Halloween. I mean, like the movie Halloween and some of the Halloween movies that are, under the actual title, they're great. And we'll get to the best one of all time ever next week. But like, this is one that you just like, if you have a Halloween party, this is the one that you just have like on your big screen. Just have it on. Have it on in the background. Everything about this exudes great Halloween fun, great Halloween nastiness. And it was just, I don't understand why it was shelved for so long. It makes it more of an interesting story about how we got to see it. People liked it when they saw it at like the South by Southwest and all those all the festivals and everything, but they just shelved it, and it just came out all of a sudden on DVD, and now it's a huge movie that people like randomly just love. And Sam is huge, and it's a really good thing. I love it, and it's not my favorite Halloween movie of all time because we'll get to that one next week, as I keep saying. But it's a great movie. If I had a Halloween party, this would be on the TV, and it would just have the volume down, but the visuals on, and this movie exudes Halloween. I love Halloween. My second favorite or first favorite holiday, depending on when you ask. I'll give this one a solid B+, buddy. I love it, man. It's great. How say you, sir? Do you agree with me?
I do agree with you. This movie is great. Not in a long time has a horror movie sort of captured the real spirit of Halloween. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic, and it was worth the wait from the time I first saw the preview until quite a few years later when I actually
Did that make
saw
it
the
cooler,
film.
Almost?
Huh?
Did it make it cooler almost?
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
Yeah, I like that the way that it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it worked out just fine. Yeah, when I finally saw it for the first time, yes, I thought this was a fantastic movie. I still do. I think it's great. Yeah, if you want a good, solid Halloween movie, aside from the original or the great,
Like something that we're going to talk about next week.
maybe. Yeah, if you want a good one to go along with that for your Halloween season watching pleasure, I would absolutely recommend you throw Trick or Treat in there in your rotation of Halloween movies.
Absolutely, man. You are spot on. What's your letter grade?
I'll give this an A minus.
Okay, yeah,
A-.
That's fair. We both agree, man. This is great, and I'm glad that you like it, and I'm glad that we got to do this one. After last week, man, I felt really bad.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
No,
but,
this was definitely a redemption from last week.
Yep. And I think that you knew that coming into this episode, didn't you?
Oh hell yeah. I knew I was gonna love this, so it was
Yep.
it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the next bizarre show.